What's going on, my peoples?
What's up with it, my bows?
Peoples. Alrighty. So, welcome back.
Wait, hold on. Did I hear we have a hater on the freaking P-ball?
Might be one out there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Fuck the haters. Here's to my New Year's resolution of not drinking. Judge me all you want.
All right. Out to our hater or haters on our Peebos. If you don't get it, that's okay. We don't care. Maybe you're not a Peebo. So, anyway, welcome to another episode of the Millennial Man Podcast. As always, your host, Derek Chard, and as always, your co-host, Bryson Womack. And we got there's something going on in the world right now. Right, we got a conflict overseas.
Are you worried?
I don't know, and it's got me thinking. So before we jump into, and I don't know where this will go. And yes, just in case anyone's wondering, we're talking about the conflict in Iran currently, but I was thinking about whether or not I was worried, and
is it Iran?
Iran.
I don't know.
We could sort that out. But it got me thinking, because you asked me, am I worried? But then it got me thinking. I did some research. You ready for this? We're millennials, right? So kind of 1980s on. And I got a little list for you.
You got a list?
Bryson, I got a little list. I'm just gonna read it out.
A honeydew? You just got married,
Not quite.
Right?
I did get married.
Congrats.
Thank you. But yeah, let me read this list. Gulf War, war in Afghanistan, war in Iraq, Princess Diana, Columbia Space Shuttle, 9/11, Olympics bombing, Boston Marathon bombing, school shootings, many of them, Challenger spacecraft explosion, OKC bombing, West Nile virus, AIDS, SARS, mad cow, anthrax, H1N1 swine flu, Ebola, Zika, COVID, the Great Recession, the housing bubble, Hurricane Katrina, Andrew, Helene. And that's not even all of them. So I was thinking, am I worried? And I was thinking about, I don't know. And I looked up not all, but a lot of things that we've experienced in our generation. And I don't know if I'm as worried as I should be or not as worried as I should be. I don't know. What do you think?
Is it as worried as you should be? Does that, maybe we're just desensitized? I'll be honest. I was worried about making my tea time. I was in Phoenix and I woke up and I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get an Uber to True North when all this was happening. So I was not. But at the same time, are we desensitized because there is so much communication around everything and we just blow it up, right? So when you listed some of those, I feel like we were scared of things that we would have normally not ever been scared of, but because of media, we did get worried. And now, because there's been so much noise, sometimes we don't even know what noise we even have to react to.
You know what? You ever hear of the parable? I think it's a parable. The story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. You ever hear about that one? Where the boy went into the town or whatever and said, "Wolf, wolf, wolf." And everyone hid and got scared and whatever, and there was no wolf. And then he did it again and again and again. And then finally, there actually was a giant wolf coming into do whatever it did in the town. And he came in and said, "Wolf, wolf, wolf." And everyone said, "No, we're not falling for that one again." And there actually was a wolf, and things happened, whatever. So it made me think about that, not because I don't think we're crying wolf or the media's crying wolf or anybody's crying wolf, but I think part of it is we've had so many of these things, right? I just listed out a bunch that have happened during our lifetime that we were told to be scared of, right? Like I remember West Nile virus. Don't go outside. If you go outside and you get bit by a mosquito with West Nile, you're going to die.
Oh, anthrax.
Right? Anthrax. You're going to die.
Open mail.
Right. So there was all these things, even COVID recently. You're like, don't like, oh my God, you're going to die. Like it's the worst thing in the world. And then I think in my mind, like, and let me be not unsensitive to people who may have been severely affected by these things. But for me personally, I wasn't, right? I didn't die. I didn't get these diseases. I didn't, whatever I guess I'm not worried that a bomb is going to drop on Atlanta. So I think when we hear of these things now, it's not quite the boy who cried wolf, but it's kind of like, do I worry? Or am I going to end up worrying about nothing because nothing is going to come of it?
So I got a call back.
I
got a call back for us. Episode 2, we talked about slangs.
Slang, yep.
Are we pansies? Are we being a bunch of pansies?
I don't know.
And I say that because, like I said, we there's a lot of noise with the media, and it just gets us worked up, riled up, whatever you want to call it. But I remember like seeing pictures of my dad, like back in the day, right? And he was always wearing like these military outfits, standing all stern and straight. I'm like, why do you have all these pictures? Like you're 8, 9, 10. Well, I thought I was going to war. Like they had real things that they were, gonna have to be faced with. Yeah. And I think we have too, right? We've had some real things, 9/11, the
Great Recession,
and
COVID.
Yeah, those were real things, but there's also a lot of things that was just noise. And that's now caused us to have this desensitization of, is that a word? Desensitization? Did I just make that up?
Maybe I could use it.
Okay. George Bush, desensitization.
Yeah.
I don't know what's real now. I'm saying, okay, we'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, the question of pansies, too, I'm going to go to that first, is, yeah, we could be. Because again, I'm worried about getting bit by a mosquito. How about getting bit by a bullet in war? And that's our grandparents.
Something bit me.
Right. Right up in the buttocks. But yeah, now listen, we had the war in Iraq, but here's the thing: we're also saying this from a different perspective, because there was the war in Iraq, and my cousin did 2-3 tours.
No shit.
He was shot at. He was on the front lines with the Marines. He was a corpsman, what it's called. So he was a medic for the Marines on the front lines, and I hear some of his stories, and he's a year older than me. So I'm 37, he's 38, and he went to war. Got shot at, watched people's legs get blown off, blah, 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 all the above. He's told me some stories.
Did we get his name?
So I might leave it off.
First name.
Ricky. Frederick. Ricky. Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. And so that's the thing too. So our grandparents that went to war, they had that. But there are people in our generation, in the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, that went through that as well. So our, millennial man, he's a millennial. Are we, as millennials, pansies? Or are we pansies, the people who, didn't serve? Right? But we weren't forced to serve. Nowadays there's hasn't been a draft in I don't know how long, right? People apply, people voluntarily serve in the military.
We have men and women
Yeah.
amongst us who voluntarily enlist.
Yeah.
But if they didn't, then yeah, it would be up to the millennial men to get drafted.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a friend actually asked me the other day, he's at my house. He's like, hey, did you hear that there's the possibility of another draft? And I was like,
Nah.
and again, we go to the Boy Who Cried Wolf and media. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that is a little bit of propaganda to get people worried, or to get people to, choose one side or the other. Like, we have, if you look at our numbers of our, and I actually met someone who's in the Army Reserves last night. And I was like, hey, is there a chance you get called upon? And he's like, there's a chance, but there's a great chance I won't. And so, like, if he's not even getting called on, we're not getting drafted. But the cutoff for the draft was 40. And so I have a friend that is 40. He's like, yep, I'm good. And I'm like, oh, shoot. All right, I'm 37, turning 38. Like, if there was a draft, here I go.
Yeah.
Here I go to training.
Well, it's crazy. Your cousin Ricky, you say that actually, did some tours. And I've got friends. The only one that's popping to mind right now would be Joe Solano, Marine. And a lot of times those guys just have to go report and sit overseas and just
sometimes, yep,
eat sand and shitty food and just be there in case. So, I mean, appreciate those guys as well, and gals that were prepared to be there when it mattered, but it didn't.
That's what he did for a long time and probably thought he would only do, which is wild. Because until there's a conflict, like you get to travel, just be on bases, hang out. But then if something happens, you gotta go. So I'm sure he was thinking the same thing. And, I wonder, like, as human beings, we're fight or flight, right? So, like, if something happens, you have two decisions. You run, which they train you can't do that. And so you just gotta go. You just gotta do what you gotta do.
So obviously,
without even any thought.
With the current event, war is on mind. But there were some other things I think you mentioned, that just kind of shaped
our childhood
upbringing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, childhood upbringing. Yeah, I think that was like we were introduced to school shootings, bombings, the different types of viruses. What was it? West Nile, swine flu, SARS.
There was so many.
Yeah, Steve's. I have Steve's on that one.
Good, yeah. And one thing I'll say, maybe while you do that, is, and I don't remember when it was, but it was kind of the end of my schooling, but I believe we did it once because, you were in school and you had fire drills, right? They would let you know, hey, today's a fire drill, fire alarms go off, and you're doing the drill because you're making sure everyone gets out of the building line by line, blah, blah, blah. And I do think I remember the first time, I think I was there. It could have even been in college. I don't know when it was that they did a shooter drill, because when I was young, we never did that. That was never a drill we practiced. But I remember thinking, like, wait, they were like, lock the doors, get on the wall, like, go down, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what is this drill? And they're like, well, this is an active shooter in the building drill.
I mean, yeah, we probably should have, because I'm still waiting to stop, drop, and roll.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm still waiting.
Most of my childhood, we didn't do that drill. And I don't know how many shootings happened during that time. Was that a new thing? Like, I don't, did we just not hear about it because there's no internet? Like, I don't know. But all of a sudden, instead of a fire drill, it's an active shooter drill.
God.
And imagine if you are an 8-year-old in a school and they're like, what is this drill, Miss Smith? Oh, this is an active shooter drill. What does that mean? Oh, someone's in the school trying to kill you. And you're 8 years old.
They're honestly, I think they're more prepared these days, because if a tornado came in our day, it was put a book over your head, bend over.
Right.
What's that?
Go find a door jam. I remember told, go find a door jam, go get in a bathtub, hold on to a pipe. Maybe that was from the movie Twister. I don't know. As low to the ground, the most sturdy thing you can find.
So I did ask Jeeves about, man,
Okay.
The
What do we got?
viruses. Woof.
Got a lot.
Woof. I mean, we're talking. Well, do you know this one? What was the one when you're swimming in a pool?
E. coli?
E. coli. That was a big one.
Yeah.
Swine, polio, not polio. That was the education initiative. AIDS kind of got.
AIDS was in the 80s. AIDS wasn't
It came, but it
a
was
thing.
starting to be more awareness, I
Right.
guess, in the 90s. And then that's when we got deep into all of the swine, big one, mad cow.
I remember not understanding those because they were like swine flu, pigs, and then mad cows. Like, wait, is this if you eat bad beef or something? And they're like, no, I don't think so. I mean, look into it, ask Jeeves, but I don't think it had anything to do with like eating cow or pig, but it was something they carried that I think then got transferred.
They had to get it from some type of like bacteria, insect, whatever it was, and
then it passed to us.
We'll look it up, I guess. Yeah. I mean, we might have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I do remember there's like
Lie was a big one.
Yeah.
Goodness, there's
the one I remember is West Nile, because I remember someone explaining it to me. They're like, there's mosquitoes that carry a virus that will kill you. And I'm like, wait a minute, I get bit by mosquitoes all the time. I'm a kid. I go run around, play outside. I don't put on bug spray because my mom probably wants me to, but I just run outside, and I've had hundreds of mosquito bites on my body before. And you're telling me that one of these could kill me? Like, I remember it just freaking me out, being like, wait, is this real? Like, what are you talking about? And then they finally, someone was like, well, if a mosquito that carries it, so, you know, it hasn't hit our region yet, or they haven't found a case in our region, or, you know, the chances are that. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought this was like get bit by a mosquito and you die.
And that was, so there was West Nile, that was virus.
Yeah.
But swine, what? Swine
flu.
Okay. Swine flu. West Nile symptoms, flu-like
symptoms.
Swine flu, flu-like. COVID, flu-like.
All the same.
It's just a regenerative flu.
It's just a new virus. Here's the thing. You want to know the moral of the story? Try to be healthy. Right? Like I've always said this, that I'm a bit of a Darwinist. Like, you know, the strong survive, right? In a way. So hey, you know, like, stay strong, and if your body can't fight off something, and hopefully it can.
Well, I mean, and that is just like the way of life, right?
It is. It's the way of life for all mammals, all living things, you know?
But at the same time, I thought it was really cool. I was actually out to dinner. What was it? I guess Tuesday night with my roommate. We went to Wrecking Bar. It was Monday, because the local just got voted best wings in the country.
Okay.
And we wanted to go to the local, and we found out the local is closed on Mondays. So we went to Wrecking Bar, and we saw a little lady like walking in, lost her hair, and her entire family was wearing masks. And in that situation, I have empathy, right? I see that, and I'm like, okay, she's wearing a mask because her, I guess, you know, white blood cells, whatever it is that, you know, fight off.
Yeah. Yep.
Are weak. And then her family is also wearing masks because they're around her every day, because they don't want to get something that then spreads to her. I understand that. Right. I think we both and all understand that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But does 90% of the population need to freak out and go buy toilet paper? And no.
COVID. Talking about COVID. Yeah, you would think it would have been a
or not go outside because there's mosquitoes.
You would have thought it was a gastrointestinal disease by the fact that there was zero toilet paper. It was insane. Or like Jesus people. I think he got blown out of proportion. I still remember going outside and I was walking down the sidewalk with my now wife, and it was like one of those big sidewalks, like it was like one of those walking paths, like plenty of room. And there was a woman coming, and she crossed the entire street to go like run on the grass or the other side of the street because she, for fear, I guess, of walking too close to us outdoors. And I was just like, what? So I think it got blown out of proportion. Again, respectfully, anyone listening to this had someone pass away due to the COVID-19. I know there's a lot of other factors that went into a lot of the deaths, but I think it was a little bit, it was a bit much.
So I guess if we're tying it back, right?
It's a bit much.
I guess that is the question of this episode. Have we become too desensitized to major current events, or have we overprojected current events? And granted, what's happening in Iran, I don't think that's an overprojection. That's a real thing. Yeah. People are losing lives, but we can easily cover it up with some, oh, take back your deli meat because we got some disease in it. You know what I mean? Like we just need to focus on what actually is the real problem.
Well, I think that there's a lot of things that go with that. I think, to me, that makes me very grateful that I live in the United States of America, right? Because part of, like, and I said this to you earlier, if a bomb hit Atlanta, Georgia right now, not like big enough to like take out, but like, just like a missile hit Atlanta, Georgia, would my tone and feelings about the conflict right now change? 100%, because it hit close to home. But I feel like because a lot of these conflicts happen over the Atlantic Ocean, in a way we feel untouchable as the United States, other than like sleeper cells, right? If people are here, but so I feel like it doesn't feel as real in a way, as if you were over in that area, right? Like we can go play golf and we're just like, yeah everything's good, so is it first world problems? Are we just being stuck up, like everything, should we just be so grateful that we live in a country that, we have an amazing military that's fighting for us? I talked to you earlier, I was taking a putt on the putting green, and there were military planes flying above me, and I sat there and I'm like, this person's working to keep me safe so I can play golf, so I think it's just important that we understand that perspective, that we have it great. We have it great. And there's bad things going on, and whatever happens to us, we probably won't feel the pain the same way others would. Even economic crisis, even West Nile virus, we have technology and things to treat and help, and hospitals and so many resources that other places do not have, that make every global pandemic, every conflict happening easier on us.
So I have two
as
things.
Americans, so I think it's a lot of that.
Two things on this. I recently watched an interview with a CIA retired individual, and he was talking about a situation where he's in Russia back in like the 70s or like 80s, and he ended up having a dinner or a conversation with a Russian
spy.
Spy, operative, or operative, what do you want to call it?
Military, whatever.
And there was, I guess, a couple situations where it was like, why have y'all not, come at us, right? What's the holdup? And the Russian operative expressed there have been so many different strategies that we have put in front of a potential attack. Every single time we think about, well, what about all of the individual civilians that have firearms, weaponry? And I mean, yeah, has that same open to bear arms cause other issues inside our own country?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But that is the one reason that people were scared to attack us, was because they're like, well, you go there, everybody's got guns. And that is the same reason right now where we spend so much money on our military. Is like, yeah, we spend more than the top 4 countries behind us.
Yeah.
But that's because when something like this right now is happening,
we can go play golf.
I'm worried about my damn tee time.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I saw a reel, to your first point, that this guy was in a tree stand. He was bow hunting in a tree stand, but it was like one of those, like, not a super comfortable one.
Him and his brother
sitting there. Well, he was like, how you guys doing? He's like, my brother's down over there in another tree,
250
yards away. We've been sitting here for about 6 hours, trying to get a deer and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, this is what we do for fun. He's like, we come out here and we do this for fun. So what you guys need to understand is, if we do this for fun, if we have to do this in self-defense,
when it matters,
when it matters, he's like, and there are millions and millions of us out there that do this for fun. So go ahead, so that, to your point, I just thought that was hilarious, but yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But what's impressive? Our military is impressive. It's impressive. And because you talked about a Russian operative, my cousin who I spoke of earlier, he's like, oh,
Ricky.
Ricky. He took subs places, and he's like, oh yeah, we would surface and go in Russia, different places. And he's like, we would literally see Russian spies, these everywhere. He's like, they would talk to you, they would try to, you're at the bar and this and that. And we were asking him questions, and he was like, we're like, oh,
I was about to say, this is totally genuine.
Totally genuine.
Was it you that we were out a couple of nights ago?
I'm gonna get there.
Fuck yes.
So,
love this.
But I don't know, I'm gonna say it very lightly, because he was like, yeah, we surface our submarines as many places as we can, and we want them to know we're here, and we want to show off our payload. We'll show off our payload. He goes, but there's 2 things that no one can talk about. Nobody knows. And we were joking with him. He's like, not even a slight chance. He goes, my wife doesn't even. He's like, and it's with submarines that, and I don't even know if I should say this, but he's like, how deep they can go and how fast they can go. He goes, those are 2 pieces of information.
You're saying what you don't know. You're not saying anything.
Those are 2 pieces of information that can never be put out anywhere. It's completely classified. And you know what's funny? And, regardless about there was a first ship sunk by
I saw that,
by a submarine torpedo since 1980, whatever. And as soon as that happened, I thought of that. I was like, because they didn't even know that submarine was there, because they didn't know how deep it could go, and they didn't know how fast it could go, and they thought they were fine. They were looking at planes, and then all of a sudden, boom. So it's wild. So we're invested. I mean, like you said, we spent a lot of money on that, but that's just a cool story. I don't want to off rail it, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of things going on right now. And I think as millennial men, as a millennial generation, we've been through a lot, but it's perspective. We're lucky. But yeah, we've been through some shit.
And perspective is key, because if you ask me, like, as a child, what was the big event you remember? Obviously 9/11, right? Y2K. But, like, besides the one that everyone knows, like, for me, it was Princess Diana. And that was 1997, August 31st. The reason I remember that, it was my 8th birthday. And the reason I remember my 8th birthday was the first set of Titleist irons I got. And it goes right back to Iran situation happening 2 weeks ago, and I'm playing golf.
Yeah.
And
someone dies, and you just got new irons, and you want to go hit them outside.
And my mom was crying, and I was sad because my mom was sad. That's all I remember.
Yeah. No, it's true. I remember her dying, and I was just like, "What? Wait, who's this lady?" Like, what?
And that's perspective.
Yeah. And I didn't comprehend, I guess, that there was some stuff behind the scenes that people thought.
We learned that years later.
Yeah, and it became a big thing. And I guess who she was, but yeah, I had no idea. So you're okay. You're okay. Just wanting to play with your irons. Then you don't have to feel bad about that. But R.I.P. Princess Diana. She was a good woman. So, but all right, I think it's time to wrap up this episode. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this with just saying to my peoples, I've always said this: take care of your own, be a good person, be aware of things going on, think for yourself, be healthy. Just be proactive, right? Things are going to happen in life, whether they're big, small. But if you're prepared for them, I think everything's going to be all right. And be grateful that we live in the best country in the world. So
yeah,
that's what I
mean, hell, whether you're hitting a bomb off a tee box from the golf course or dropping a bomb out of a plane. We've been dropping bombs since 1776. Put it on a t-shirt to my bows. Don't forget about you.
Peace.